What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one. Exclusive audit reveals the improper payments from feds ballooned to over $500 billion under the Biden administration. We got a big update from Social Security. Social Security direct payments worth up to $4,555 going out to millions. Later today, a Walmart shopper said a police officer did the unthinkable. We'll just leave it there. We're going to get into that one later in this video, and we're going to talk about some simple money hacks that could save that only take about 5 minutes, and it could make you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we're going to talk about all these different things and more today. If you guys are new to the channel, do your boy a favor, drop a quick like for the video. I totally appreciate that. Also, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you guys as members of our community. So guys, so the Biden administration wasted over $500 billion in its first 2 years due to improper payments, believe it or not, right? Data collected, and this is according to an audit of federal data conducted by the Open the Books. Data collected by the Office of Management and Budget revealed that at least $528 billion, possibly more, because they're saying at least here, was improperly paid by the federal government in the first 2 years of the Biden administration. Who knows how much was done, how much was wasted between after the 2 years until today. The report defines improper payments as payments that should not have been made or that were made in an incorrect amount. Now, obviously, there's lots of payments that the federal government makes on a regular basis. On a daily basis, they're probably making millions of payments, not only to citizens within the country, tax refunds, they're making treasury interest payments on outstanding debt, international debt. There's all sorts of different payments. And then, of course, if we go back, 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020. So if we go back 4 years, they were issuing PPP payments, EIDL payments, stimulus check payments. There were the SNAP and EBT payment allotments. Lots of payments were going out. So I'm not really sure how that breaks down in terms of percentages and where that waste was coming from. Not to mention there was a lot of fraud taking place. It says here, quote, "This is a prime example of the institutionalized incompetence of the administrative state." And this came from Adam Andrzejewski, CEO of the Open Books. He went on to say that the center left somehow believes in an elite scientific public good to the administrative state, and this report calls the entire paradigm into question. Wow, they're going for the jugular on that one. So what do you guys think? Do you think that the Biden administration is just wasting our taxpayer dollars? I know how a lot of people aren't very happy with how much of our taxpayer dollars have been headed over to the Ukraine with seemingly no end in sight. Now, during the first 2 years of the Biden administration, 17 government agencies reported improper payments, including the Department of Health and Human Services. Is that DFACS? Department of Health and Human Services. That sounds so familiar. Which paid $286.9 billion. The Department of Labor, which paid $97.2 billion. Now, I know the Department of Labor was cutting a lot of checks because remember, they also extended the unemployment benefits quite a bit. Numerous times, and the federal government had issued essentially, it was like unemployment bonuses. There was stupid money going out, and I don't know if they were really paying attention. Evidently not. The Treasury Department, which had paid $51.9 billion, according to the report, the biggest increase in improper payments from 2021 and 2022 fiscal years were made by, drumroll please, Small Business Administration, also known as the SBA, which increased improper payments by $36 billion, according to this report. Now, we were just talking about it, right? PPP loans, EIDL, all sorts of business stimulus check money apparently was paid out improperly. Quote, "Even though this number is large, it is vastly underreported by their administration." So they're telling us it's even worse than what they're reporting here. The Inspector General said that the C-19 fraud alone is amounting to roughly $100 billion. Wowzers. Wow. Okay. Department of Justice Inspector General, and you got to wonder, was this planned? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just print hundreds of billions of dollars and just hand it out and just have no checks and balances. Like, I wonder how much of this money actually made it to some of the people who allowed it to go back, or made it back into the pockets of those who allowed it to go out in the first place. I think you guys know where I'm going with that, if you can read in between the lines there. They go on here to say that improper spending peaked in 2010, $242 billion, and decreased over the next several years until beginning to steadily rise again in the middle of the Trump administration. So, according to the report, it looks like the Trump administration was a part of this problem, but not within the 2021 and 2022 timeframe, obviously, because he wasn't in office at that time. But check this out. Dead people over the 2-year period received $974 million in payments from the Federal Retirement Services, old age survivors and disability insurance, and Social Security. So that's like SSI, SSDI, all sorts of dead people got a lot of money, close to $1 billion. The government has a history of sending payments to dead people, with the Social Security Administration, the SSA, paying nearly $42 million to about 500 dead people during the 2018 fiscal year. It's just wild because, you know, you got people living on fixed income, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, wishing that they could get, you know, bigger payments. Meanwhile, government's got enough cash to send out to dead people, but not to the people who legitimately should be receiving that money. It kind of pisses me off because I already know I'm getting bent over just paying Social Security taxes, which I really have no choice about. You know, I can't opt out of paying Social Security. So basically, they're stealing Social Security money from my paychecks. Meanwhile, they're wasting the Social Security funds that have been collected, and it's a high likelihood that Social Security won't even exist by the time I'm eligible to collect it. Yeah. So how do I say I'm pissed off without saying that I'm pissed off? Anyway, so moving on. Let's talk about Social Security, right? So evidently, Social Security payments worth up to $4,555 could be going out to millions of people tomorrow. Now, so basically millions of retirees will receive the first wave of June Social Security retirement payments worth up to a little under $4,600 on Wednesday, later today, throughout the day. So the first round of payments, which goes to recipients born between the 1st and the 10th of each month, will be sent out on June 14th. The second Wednesday of the month, the payments are dispersed on the second, third, and fourth Wednesday of the month. So if you are a Social Security recipient, you know, check your mailbox, check your Bank of America, Chase app, Wells Fargo. I don't know who you use. Check your bank, see if your check came in. Second distribution will be going to retirees on June 21st, the third Wednesday of June. For those who are born between the 11th and the 20th of the month. And the final wave is going to be going out June 28th, the fourth and final Wednesday of the month, to those born on or after the 21st of the month. Now, the amount of money each beneficiary receives differs depending upon his or her age, retirement, whether you're your full retirement age. Did you collect Social Security early and then you got screwed? I feel like no matter when you collect Social Security, you're going to get screwed. If you take it early, you're not getting the full payout amount. But if you wait till full retirement age, you're not going to have as much gas in the tank. So it's like, okay, do you roll the dice, wait until full retirement age, collect the maximum amount of Social Security, and then, you know, risk that you die the next year? You know what I mean? Because you're older, you waited till full retirement age. Or do you say, you know what, I'll collect Social Security as early as possible, not get the full maximum benefit, and who knows when you die? I don't think you can win on this one. I think they just need to totally just redo this whole freaking Ponzi scheme. But I digress. So recipients could be seeing a decrease in their payments in the future if Congress does not settle on the funding of the program. Discussions on the future of Social Security have occurred in Congress for years, but as you know, they're not making a whole heck of a lot of progress. And like I said, I am concerned that they're going to run out sooner than later. And Social Security recipients could see a cost of living adjustment of 3.1% next year, which would be a significant dip from the 8.7% that Social Security recipients received back in 2023. And that was mainly because, there was such high inflation. Well, as inflation's coming down, the CPI numbers are coming down. Not to mention there's a Federal Reserve meeting later on this week. I think they may actually be wrapping up later today, Wednesday. Anyway, Federal Reserve is bringing down CPI inflation, and these COLA adjustments are based on those numbers. So as they're bringing down inflation, they're also bringing down the raise that Social Security recipients could be receiving for their next checks. Either way, it's all a scam. If inflation's high, you're getting more CPI. If inflation's high, you're getting a higher COLA, but then your expenses are higher. And then if inflation's down, prices are not rising as high, but you're also not getting as big of a raise. So it's like, okay, 6 in one hand, half dozen in another. It's a moot point if you ask me. Now, something wild happened in Walmart today, or not today. Something wild happened in Walmart. And I know I shop at Walmart, regardless of how many people get upset at me and why you shop at Walmart, Ron? You shouldn't be shopping at Walmart. Guys, I ain't going to sit here and tell you no stories. I do shop at Walmart, not every day, not for everything, but I do go in there from time to time. And yeah, I can only imagine how this situation would have unfolded in Walmart, seeing it in person, what I'm about to share with you guys. But it's just wild because, just looking at this guy. All right, so let me just go into this, right? So imagine you go into Walmart and you go and buy something. You're buying whatever. Maybe it's one item. Maybe you're buying 20 items. I don't know. But a cop asks you as you're heading out the door, do you have a receipt? Does that necessarily mean you need to show your receipt? Then he just asks you if you have a receipt. So if you say, yeah, I got a receipt, you've responded respectfully, but you keep walking. Or do you stop? Do you pull out your receipt? There's so many different ways you could respond to this, right? So a Walmart shopper said a police officer pinned him to the ground after asking about his receipt. Dayton Boris South told Insider the officer confronted him after he purchased a $5 frozen pizza. Now, I don't know if this is Red Baron, DiGiorno, Freshetta. I don't know what kind of pizza he ordered. But the Kansas City Police Department said that it has disciplined the 2 officers that were involved in this particular incident, right? But this was pretty bad. In fact, it was so bad that there's a video that goes with this that I really want to show you guys, but I don't think it would be appropriate for YouTube. So I'm gonna be sure to drop a link for the video in the description of this YouTube video if you guys want to see what happened, because I can only imagine being a Walmart shopper that day, seeing this whole ordeal go down, because it wasn't just one police officer. It looks like there were. Yeah, it looks like there's multiple police officers involved on this one. It's wild. Can you imagine the kids that were in the store? Moms, parents with their kids. It's just a very disturbing sight to see. Which is why I'm not going to show it here on YouTube. I'll leave a link for you guys in the description down below if you want to check it out. But it goes on to say here, quote, as I took 1, maybe 2 steps past him, he said, "Got your receipt?" And I said, yes, and kept walking. This is what the guy who got pinned down and arrested ultimately looked like they were trying to kill him. And as I walked toward the sliding glass door, I saw in the reflection that he was coming after me. So then he said, then Boris said that the police officer pinned him to a brick wall and asked him if he had paid for his purchase. Wow. Is that how they doing in Walmart? Are you serious? Quote, I said, yes, I did. I have the receipt in my left pocket, but you don't have the right to detain me. End quote. So Boris said that the officer called back up, wrestled him to the ground, and attempted to handcuff him. So I don't even understand why he's already the the shopper, at the end of the day, he's a Walmart customer. He's a customer, for freaking crying out loud, right? He admitted to having a receipt. I don't even understand why he's being wrestled to the ground. Then the other officers come running in, and I felt hope, thinking that they were going to help him. They then jump on his back. One police officer puts his knee on his neck. He said one of the officers threatened to break his nose. Quote, I'm scared to go, quote, I started to get scared, so I immediately stopped resisting. End quote. I don't even know why he's getting arrested to begin with, let alone needing to resist. And I'm not saying you should resist, but there's a lot of things going on, and I'm pretty sure all this happened fairly quickly. But anyway, I'm gonna leave a link for you guys if you guys want to see the video showing, what was happening in this Walmart situation here. But again, I just thought it was a little much. Something that I just, some things I can't share here. This is why I put them on the other platforms. Feel free to, check that out if you want. All right. So let's talk about the simple money move. This one simple money move that takes 5 minutes that could make you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, who wouldn't want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars very simply and easily, right? So there's all kinds of ways to save money, but to be completely honest, a lot of them are not worth it. Like some people are, wasting their time trying to make 10 cents filling out surveys. It's like, you know what? This survey took you like 15 minutes to fill out for you to get like 17 cents payout. That's not worth it. Even in a third world country. Anyway, so, there's advice about cutting back on small luxuries, like buying coffee at a cafe. I do like Starbucks, but I also like to make my coffee at home. So, I'll treat myself to Starbucks every now and then. But anyway, so you got advice about cutting back on small luxuries, like buying coffee at a cafe. Perfect example. You can also save so much money this way. You could save a lot of money by not going to these expensive cafes for coffee. But, if you're miserable in the process, maybe it's not worth it. It really depends on the individual, Now, you're much better off focusing on financial decisions that can make a much bigger impact, though. I don't think anyone's going to argue with me on that one, and won't ruin your quality of life. Because, I'm not going to be unhappy to save $2. It's not worth it. So this finance guru is recommending one simple money-making move that could just, help you to make your life much better and increase your savings rate. It looks like we can save hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing this, right? And I'm actually going to attest to this because I've actually done it myself. So this could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time you retire. Like, who wouldn't want to see a few extra hundreds of thousands of dollars in their savings bank account, retirement account, brokerage account by the time they retire, right? So make a small annual increase in how much you invest. And I know it sounds so simple, it sounds so easy, but I promise you guys it'll only take 5 minutes, right? So basically you want to create a rule and this is not investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor or any of that stuff. Definitely talk to your own CPA or financial advisor, but create a rule to increase your investment rate by 1% every year. This is so powerful. I want to say this again for anyone who wasn't sleeping, put down your tablet, put the kids to bed for a second. Listen up. Create a rule to increase your investment rate by 1% every year. Your investment rate refers to the percentage of your income that you invest. You can invest in Vanguard, Charles Schwab, E-Trade, Webull, Fidelity, you name it. This principle works across the board, regardless of which online brokerage company you want to work with. Now, your investment rate refers to the percentage of your income that you invest. Now, it's recommended that you bump it up by 1% of your income per year. And this simple strategy alone could make you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You got to think about S&P 500. The S&P 500 has generated returns of 8 to 10% for the last 50 years or more on average. Right? So if you can stair step and increase your contribution rates into investing into companies and stocks that are on the S&P 500, generating returns like that. This is how wealth is built. It's a little bit of upfront sacrifice for long-term gain. Now, it might sound like exaggeration, but the math actually checks out. When you're investing for decades, these seemingly small changes can make a massive impact. Now, just to show how powerful a 1% annual increase can be, let's look at an example. So let's just say you earn $75,000 a year and you invest like 5% of that amount, which is $3,750 per year. And your portfolio gets an 8% annual return, which is very reasonable based on the stock market's average return, especially if you look at the S&P 500, that's very reasonable. So we're going to compare two different scenarios here. So in the first one, if you invest the same amount of money for 35 years, in the second, you increase your contribution by 1% for the first 6 years, you'll be contributing 10% of your income. All right. So scenario one, you're investing the same amount of money for 35 years, no changes. But in the second scenario, you're going to increase your contribution by 1% per year only for the first 6 years until you're contributing 10% of your income. You then maintain that for 29 years. So you're in both scenarios, you're going to be investing for 35 years. And so here's how the results differ. So with method one, where you're only investing the same amount of money every single year and you're not changing it, you're going to contribute $131,250, right? So that's how much investment you've made over 35 years. But the total value, assuming, 8% return on investment, the total value is $697,883. Not bad, right? However, if you use this simple strategy, if you use this simple investment hack, you can increase your investment rate from 5% to 10%, and that'll make your total contributions $251,250, right? But the total value of the portfolio is now 35 years later, hypothetically, assuming you got 8% return on your investment, would be $1,244,975. Now, that's an extra $427,092 more using this one simple hack that the average person won't even notice. An extra 1% per year in contributions, like most people will never even feel that. And so like, for example, let's just say you got a 5% raise like every year and you increase your annual contribution by 1%. You still saw your paycheck increase, but you've paid yourself first by increasing your contribution rate by 1% every single year. So I could really see how this works. And like I said, I've already done it for many years. And so I know it works. So basically you're investing over the same amount of time, 35 years either way. With the second method, you invest $120,000 more. And basically you're kind of like sneaking this extra $120,000 in that you're earning, but you never allow yourself to see it. It automatically goes in. And then in return, you end up with $547,000 more. Even after subtracting the additional $120,000 that you put in, you still up an extra $427,000 of passive income. Like, this is how to increase your net worth significantly. So, I don't know, here's how real wealth is built. And like, to really maximize this, you want to increase your income, like really work hard to increase your income. And I know this is kind of like basic information, but a lot of people kind of like ignore this. Focus on increasing your income. Like, talk to your manager, talk to your boss. Like, what does it take to be worth more at the company? And this is literally a question I asked my previous managers. How do I increase my value to the company? Because if you're valuable to the company, they don't want to lose you. And if they really don't want to lose you, they're going to pay you, right? And guess what? If you pick up new skills and your company doesn't pay you, well, guess what? This is a free market economy. If you are really valuable in the marketplace and your current company doesn't pay you what you're worth, you need to update your resume and find the company that will. Take advantage of your company's 401k match. This is free money, guys. Like, there's hardly any other way that you can guarantee a 100% rate of return on your investment other than a 401k offered by an employer that is willing to match you dollar for dollar up to a certain percentage of your income. So there's that. And be careful how much you're spending on your mortgage payment, on your rent payment, and be careful how much you're spending on your car payment. Average car payment right now is over $700-800 a month, which is ridiculous for something that literally, for most people, they spend most of their for most people, their car is used to get them to work. Now, obviously, you go to the grocery store, you hit up Walmart, Target, take your kids to school, you take vacations once or twice, maybe 3-4 times a year. I don't know. But simple fact of the matter is that the majority of the miles on most people's cars is it's racking up by driving to work. So at the end of the day, most people buy a car just to get them to work. And most people go to a job that they don't even really like. So it blows my mind how people are willing to spend so much freaking money to buy a car that is going to take them where they don't really want to go. They don't really want to go to work. Like, people don't really want to go to work. That's why so many people are trying to work from home instead. By the way, for different work from home opportunities, I'll leave some helpful links for you guys in the description down below this video. But, people are finding themselves trapped, stuck in this rat race because of the financial obligations that they hold. And, to spend $800 a month on a car to go to a job you don't really even like it's like insanity to me. Anyway. And then also, you want to make investing automatic. And I mean, that's what I've done for years. Make it automatic. I've even set up bills through bill pay so that I can literally write myself a check to a savings account or to a brokerage account to automate the process so that I don't have to think about it. Because if I have to think about it, I'm not going to remember. As much as I'm a fan of investing, if I had to remember, I would probably forget to do it, or I would overspend. I probably just wouldn't prioritize it. But since it's automatic, it's kind of like taxes that come out of your check. Your taxes come out automatically for the most part. And so you spend what's left over. And the same thing can be implemented with investing. So I just want to share that little tidbit with you guys. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you guys in this video. Drop me some comments down below. Let me know what was the most interesting thing that we talked about today. Also, share this video with someone that you love, someone that you care about, someone that needs to hear this information. You should see a video here and a video here. Make sure to click on those videos right now and check them out. Really appreciate that, you guys. If you made it this far in the video, do me a favor, drop a quick like for the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe.